Hi, everyone. Are you having a really challenging time co-parenting with your high conflict ex? You are not alone. So many people who get divorced from somebody who has a high conflict personality, someone who tries to push their buttons, someone who maybe has been coercive in the past. When you get divorced from this person, they continue to try to maintain control over you. And so many people experience this high conflict sort of co parenting as they're moving forward. So you're not alone, and you are not crazy, and you're not making it up. They are not necessarily looking out for what's best for your children. They're trying to meet their own agenda. Whatever that agenda is, it is making it very hard for you to co-parent effectively and be your best self. However, again, you're not alone, and we do have some techniques for you here that should help you at least a little bit be able to co-parent much more effectively and maintain control of a sense of normalcy for yourself and for your children. I give parents so much credit because it's not easy to be a parent. Never mind to co-parent with someone that is not in the same house as you and who's not aligned with you. But then when you have to do it with somebody who's so high conflict and wants to fight you every step of the way, it can feel like you're hitting a brick wall. Some of the traits of this difficult ex or this difficult co-parent might include communicating ineffectively. They're not giving you the information that you're asking for, or they're doing it in a very combative way. And the communication that you actually need to help your children is not coming across. They might be speaking poorly about you in front of the children, maybe even in front of other family members where the children are in earshot and the children are hearing all of this. That's really toxic. They might be trying to undermine your authority by saying, oh, it's okay if we do this. Mom isn't going to care. Oh, it's okay if we go late because dad's not going to have any issue with that. They want to try to maintain control over the children as a way to control you and undermine your authority as a parent. They might go so far as to actually try to alienate you from your children, alienate your children's affections from you. Oh, if you stay at my house a little bit longer, I can do something different for you. We're going to go for ice cream. Or you can stay a little bit longer and stay up past your bedtime because I'm the fun parent. I'm the great parent. They're trying to deliberately make themselves seem like the better parent and you seem like the worst parent so that they can alienate the affections of your children. Or maybe they even make decisions without even consulting you. Oh, I signed Jack and Jill up for this great summer camp and they're so excited about it and they love it. When did you talk to me about it? When were we going to have a discussion about who's paying for it, how the children are going to get there? Maybe that's my vacation time that I planned on taking with them. Any of these decisions that they're making without your input and without your consent, that's an actual deliberate attempt to undermine your authority and to make decisions that have nothing to do with you. So this not only makes it difficult for you to communicate with the co-parent, to move forward in a relationship with them that's mutually respectful, but it also creates a lot of challenges in the way you're going to parent your children, how you're going to communicate with your children, and how it is that your children are going to feel about the two of you parenting them. It can cause so much stress and so much internal chaos for your children that it's really, really unhealthy. Today, we're going to provide you with some strategies that you can use in your own life to help you be the best co-parent you can and hopefully bring them along on the journey to co-parent effectively as well. There are no promises being made here. The real key to co-parenting is staying calm, staying consistent, and doing what's best for your kids. In order to do that, here are 5 strategies that we recommend that you start to implement today. Number 1, set clear boundaries. When you're setting a boundary with your ex, you're letting them know, this is what I'm allowing and this is what I'm not allowing. There's the line. You cannot overstep your boundary and you cannot take advantage of me. I'm only going to tolerate so much. The hardest part about a boundary isn't necessarily even with your ex. Sometimes setting that boundary with your children might be necessary, and honestly, even with yourself. We're so used to, especially as women, giving and trying to negotiate and plan and tiptoe around things and make sure that nobody's feelings are hurt. So we let our boundaries just sort of fall by the wayside. They just disintegrate. Or maybe we never even set them to begin with. But even if we do, we say, oh, it's okay. I will sacrifice for the sake of my children. I'm telling you right now that you should not be doing that, because what you're teaching your children is that their self-worth is not valuable, that their self-worth doesn't matter when it comes to somebody else trying to step on it. You maintain your boundary, you maintain the rules in your household, and your children will see you and they'll model that behavior as well. So for example, you have an upcoming birthday party that was sort of unexpected, and you have to change the parenting schedule so that Jack and Jill, both of your children, can go to this party that they really want to go to. This really means a lot to them. So you reach out to the co-parent and you're on the phone with them and you're talking about, okay, so the party is from 12 to 2. I can drop Jack and Jill off at this time. Can you pick them up at 2 o'clock? You need to organize drop off. Who's going to pick up a gift? Who's going to pay for the gift? You need to organize pickup. You need to organize a lot of different things. And when you get on the phone with your high conflict ex, all they want to talk about is, you didn't drop off the backpack last week, or we have bigger problems than this, or I'm not going to give here because you didn't pay me the right amount in the extracurriculars last week. And they want to push your buttons and push your buttons and continue to push your buttons. And instead of you saying, you know what, I'm not going to engage in communication this way, you want to make sure that Jack and Jill are happy. So you continue to stay on the phone with them and engage in a conversation that really is not actually even intended to help Jack and Jill. What it's meant to do is to, from your ex's point of view, what it's intended to do is to continue to control and manipulate you. So instead of that, what I suggest you do is you let your high conflict co-parent know, the only way that I'm willing to communicate with you is in writing. It's going to be in a text, it's going to be in an email, or even better yet, it's going to be in a parenting application like Our Family Wizard. All of these ensure that everything is written. There's no miscommunication. There's no high conflict. There's no dragging you down 10 other roads when you're on a phone call with them. It's just being very succinct and clear in writing what it is that you're asking for, what it is that you want accomplished. And if they respond negatively, which let's be honest, they might, there's nothing you can do about that, but you're not going to get stuck on a phone call with them for 15 or 20 minutes, or maybe even more, while they ramble and they rant and they blame and they push your buttons. You want everything to be in writing. So when they call you, after you've already told them what your boundary is, we're going to put everything in writing. When they call you, don't answer the phone. Unless they have the children and it's an emergency, everything can go in writing. There's no reason for your high conflict ex to be calling you. You need to set the boundary. This is how I will communicate, and this is how I won't. When you set the framework for the two of you to communicate within, it's much harder for that ex to overstep the bounds. It's not impossible, but it is harder. Number 2, stay child focused. Of course, your intention is always to do what's best for your children. But when you're dealing with your high conflict ex, that can be really, really challenging because, again, they know exactly where your buttons are and they're going to try to push them, try to blame you, try to make you seem like you're a bad parent, try to make you feel guilty. No matter what, they know what is going to hurt you. Keep your blinders on and only think about the kids. What's going to be best for the kids? Should I get pulled into or sucked into this battle? No. Doing what's best for the kids should always be paramount. Even if, probably when, this high conflict ex is going to be speaking to you in a negative way, when they're going to be speaking about you in a negative way, maybe to the kids, it is important that you always think about what's best for the children. If the kids come home and say, oh, guess what? Dad and his new girlfriend said that all you want is his money and that you don't even care about us. Obviously, that is hurtful. That is painful for the children, and he should never have said that. However, when they're with you now and you've heard this, the last thing you want to do is go lashing out and saying, oh, well, he's a jerk and he always says the dumbest things. No, you can just reassure your children that you love them and that you're there for them, and that any communication that he had, anything that he said, I have no idea why he said that. But you do know that I love you, I'm here for you, and we don't worry about what he says. Again, you need to stay focused on what's best for the children and not inflame the situation so that they can go back there and say, oh, well, mom said this, right? Something else to sort of continue to ramp up the situation, add fuel to the fire. You never want to do that, and you certainly don't want your kids to do that. If your kids continue to be exposed to and live in constant conflict, all that's going to do is hurt their emotional health. Number 3, try as much as you can to use neutral communication. Try to treat your communications with your ex like a business. If you're at work and your boss says to you, we have a big project that is due and I need for you to take care of this portion of it, they put it on your desk and then you look at it and it's going to require you to work until 5:30 on a Thursday. You need to leave by 4:30, which is your usual time, so you know you don't have that extra hour on Thursday night. What you would let your boss know is, I see that this project is important. This needs to be done. It's going to require an additional hour of my time. I'm not available on Thursday. However, I can come in an extra hour on Friday, or I can make this up over the weekend. you can then be very businesslike and let them know, I can make this work. I just cannot make it work at this time. You would never say to your boss, oh my gosh, you're such a jerk. And you always pull this nonsense on me. And there's no way that I'm going to be able to do this, and storm off. You would lose your job. So the same way that you would be as businesslike and professional as possible, maybe that's the kind of communication you need to have with your co-parent. It's not ideal. Obviously, they are not a business. They're not your boss. However, trying to keep the language as neutral as possible and businesslike as possible, maybe that's the only way you can do it. Jack and Jill have a birthday party from 12 to 2 this Saturday. Drop off is at this time. Pick up is at this time. This is how we've scheduled it. I bought the gift. It's wrapped. It's going to be by the front porch. Something very simple like that. Because when you come down to it, if you start getting into the emotions, you start digging a little deeper, what are they doing? Again, they're coming back to push your buttons, and you don't need that. And again, your children will see you modeling this communication and this behavior, and they will benefit from it. Number 4, don't take it personally. This is so easy to say, so easy, because again, they know exactly where your button is, and they know exactly how to turn it up. And they're going to keep turning it up and turning it up and turning it up because they know who you are and how it is that they can hurt you. But you need to start now thinking about your future and what that means as far as you individually, you as a family with your children, and your children when they're with your ex. You have to remember that the ex is coming at you and saying these things and pushing your buttons and trying to hurt you because of them. Whatever they have going on, that's their issue. It's not yours. You have to try not to take it personally because it's actually not about you. It's really about them. Whatever unresolved feelings they have, maybe about the breakup, maybe about the marriage, maybe about their job, their life, something that has nothing to do with you. Their frustrations and their feelings are going to seep into your life if you continue to take things personally. Keep staying focused on the children and try to push them out of your mind as much as you can. And if that's impossible, maybe you need to think about parallel parenting instead of co-parenting. Co-parenting in an ideal world would work where you have one set of rules at your house, your ex has another set of rules at their house, but they really are in line with each other. They're not going to match exactly, but you're going to be aligned with, okay, the children go to bed about 9 o'clock. They have dinner about 7 o'clock. We take them to their extracurricular activities and we give them half an hour to hang out with their friends afterwards. Something along those lines so that the children know exactly what to expect when they're with both of you. Sometimes that doesn't work. When you're co-parenting with a high conflict ex, they love to make their own rules and make it sound like their rules are better. Everything in their house is so much happier and freer, and the kids love it there so much more than being at your house. If that's the case and you cannot effectively communicate with your ex, you can't effectively co-parent, maybe now you need to start thinking about parallel parenting, where in your house you have a set of rules, and in the other parent's house they have a completely different set of rules. That can be really challenging. I'm not going to lie. It can be confusing for children at first. It can be really frustrating for them because they have to start figuring out how to navigate between one house and the other. But kids are smart. They will learn how it is that things function in your house and how it is that things are done in the other house. You just need to be consistent. For a deeper dive into the differences between parallel parenting and co-parenting, we have another video for you on that. And finally, please do not underestimate the value of therapy. The toxic co-parent is continuing to try to hurt you and manipulate you and do it by using the children. Therapy really can help. Therapy for you and therapy for the children. Therapy can provide you with a space to just literally dump how it is that you're feeling and dump all of your emotions on the therapist's lap, but it can also help you set clear boundaries. It can also help you process the emotions. It can help you maybe come up with different communication strategies that might work. Don't count on them working. Again, you're changing you and not the ex. Therapy is about equipping you with the best tools possible in order to co-parent effectively. And honestly, if your children are in therapy, it gives them the tools as well to be able to communicate with you and communicate with the other parent about things that they're feeling, things that they need, what it is that they're really concerned about, and what maybe they're afraid of. Ideally, you would go to therapy, your children would go to therapy, and your ex would go to therapy. But again, the name of the game is you cannot control them. You can only control you. Remember, co-parenting is never easy. Doing it with a high conflict ex can be one of the most challenging things you'll ever do. And it's not going to end today when your children are 4 or 5. It's not going to end when they are 15 or even 25. Your children are your children for life, and the two of you are going to be bound because you have these children. So starting to use these techniques and get these boundaries in place now is going to help you down the road. So remember, the focus should always be on your child's well-being, on their emotional and mental health. And by setting boundaries, you can help all of that happen. And by setting boundaries, that can make a world of difference when you're co-parenting with that difficult ex. Thank you so much for joining us on the Divorce Den and for watching. If you found any value in this video, please like and subscribe and share with anyone else who might be going through a really difficult time co-parenting with that difficult ex.